Good morning, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of the Desert. We're so glad to have you with us this morning, whether you're here in the sanctuary or watching from wherever you are. I'm Bryna Blum, chair of the worship team, delighted to be up here today in support of our Reverend Ian, who, because of his belief in shared ministry, gives all the volunteers a chance to shine in their own way. Before we begin, please take a moment to silence any noisemakers you happen to have in your pockets or purses. Every day that I've lived here in the Valley, I've celebrated my good fortune to live here. Everywhere you look, there's something beautiful to wonder at. The sun that comes out almost every day, the shadows that it casts on the mountains, and of course, the mountains themselves. That's why we must continue to care for and acknowledge this beautiful land in the Coachella Valley as settled, developed, and cared for by the Cahuilla people, whose land and water we benefit from today. They have given us a great gift. As the world in which we're living becomes more confusing every day, it's comforting to know that in this congregation, everyone, I repeat, everyone, is not only accepted but welcome. We continue in our belief that our gay and trans neighbors are welcome here, when in many places in this country, they are not. We continue in our belief that Jews and Muslims alike are welcome here, when in other places, so many of us try to hide who we are and what we believe in. Here in the sanctuary on our sacred grounds, no one needs to hide. Whether you are straight or gay, young or not so young, slim or not so slim, of all economic statuses and professions, civic engagement, and of all physical and mental abilities, you are welcome here. We welcome people of all races and ancestries and cultures. We welcome you wherever you come from, whoever you love, whatever your immigration status. We welcome all those who will learn and grow with us as we commit together to embrace the rich and beautiful diversity of the world and to build a community centered in justice, compassion, and most importantly, in love. If you would like to be on our email list to learn more about us and our programming, please contact us at admin, ADMIN, at uucod.org, or stop by the welcome table in the lobby after the service and sign up there. Before Reverend Ian brings the Tibetan bowl and the wonderful Malcolm plays our music for centering, I would like to share these words written by Mary Oliver, with just a few words added on for me. It is a serious thing to be alive on this fresh moment in a broken world. So please be good to yourselves.
Good morning. I'm going to need your help for my call to worship this morning, so welcome to this place, and I'm going to put you to work. When I point at this side of the room, I want you to say, "Come in." Can we practice that? Come in. When I point at this side of the room, I want you to say, "Be among us." Will you do that? Be among us. To all who are yearning for community, to all who are just getting started, to all who long to go deeper, to all with tender places needing care. To the ones who have healed and have care to give, for those who are curious and hungry to learn, for those who know they have something to teach, for the ones who are just beginning to suspect they might nurture others becoming, to the young and the old, the innocent and the jaded, the fresh of mind and the deeply steeped. There is room here for each and every one. Let us worship together. Friends, we're going to begin our time together, or continue our time together, as we always do, by singing a song. We're going to sing, "When Our Heart is in a Holy Place." Will you please rise in body or spirit and join your beautiful voices? When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, that our heart is in holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in holy place, when we tell our story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, that our heart is in holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in holy place, when we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our heart stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith, that our heart is in holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place. Thank you.
Please join with me as we light the chalice. The words are overhead. When we feel lost in a chaotic world, may the light of our chalice show us our path. When we are afraid of the times we live in, may the light of our chalice give us courage. May despair at the injustice and cruelty around us. May the light of our chalice recall us to a faithful hope. Our chalice is a symbol of our commitment to each other and to ourselves. We light it today as a gathered community that we may understand more completely and act more boldly and hope more fiercely. And now if China will please come forward to light the BIPOC candles. Again, please read along with me. We light these candles in solidarity with Black, Indigenous, and other people of color as we journey towards spiritual wholeness. May we, as a beloved community, work to dismantle racism and all forms of oppression. May we live out our values so that justice, dignity, and equity for all prevail. For the reading this morning, I have chosen a piece called "You Have Become a Forest." One day when you wake up, you will find that you have become a forest. You have grown roots and found strength in them that no one thought you had. You have become stronger and more beautiful, full of life-giving qualities. You have learned to take all the negativity around you and turn it into oxygen for easy breathing. A host of wild creatures live inside you, and you call them your stories. A variety of beautiful birds rest inside your mind, and you call them memories. You have become an incredible, self-sustaining thing of epic proportions, and you should be so proud of yourself and how far you have come from the seeds of who you used to be. I invite you to share the gifts of who you are here at UUCOD. They will be so greatly appreciated, which is a perfect lead into inviting the ushers up to take the collection for the fine work of this congregation.
It's here. And there are many joys and challenges that remain quiet in our hearts. We come together today after a week. It seems like it's been years of weeks like this one, a week where our visions and our hopes received shattering blows, where our government and our courts decided that the work that hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people had given their lives to, literally in many cases, was not worth paying attention to anymore. I want to share the words of my colleague, the Reverend Dan Schatz. Before we get too far into the service, he writes, I need to say a few words about the gutting of the Voting Rights Act by the Supreme Court this past week. Some of you know that the Voting Rights Act was passed in part because of the national outrage at the lynching in Selma of a Unitarian Universalist minister named James Reeb. Another Unitarian Universalist, Viola Liuzzo, also died in that march. We remember them, along with Jimmy Lee Jackson, Jonathan Daniels, and so many others who lost their lives or who suffered physical or other kinds of injuries because of their commitment to democracy and to voting rights and to human dignity. Our Unitarian Universalist values today speak of inclusive democratic process. The Voting Rights Act was, and for what's left of it, remains the most effective and important tool we have to ensure that democracy is indeed inclusive. So we have work to do. We have work to reclaim the mantle of our forebears, to demand that democracy be inclusive and just, to repair, rebuild, and create a just and inclusive society. This is not the only thing Unitarian Universalists do, and it wasn't the only thing James Reeb or Viola Liuzzo cared about either, but it is part of this work. It is an important part of our work as Unitarian Universalists as we labor to create the society of our ideals. We labor in the short term to repair the damage, and we labor over decades and centuries to create a new society of justice and care and hope and possibility. We hold all this in our heart. We pause today in prayer. Will you join me in prayer, friend? And then I will sing, and I invite you to join me in singing as well. Spirit of life, fire of our broken and still shining hearts, we gather today. Those broken hearts weeping, those broken hearts angry, those broken hearts frightened, despairing, wondering what possibility the future holds. But the fire that is within us, the love that binds us together, the hope that inspires us, the commitments that we make to each other, to this community, to the world around, and to the cosmos of which we are a beautiful, enriching, powerful, interwoven part. Those things bring us hope. Those things remind us that we are not alone, that in the face of cruelty, in the face of violence, in the face of war and fear, in the face of discrimination and dehumanization, in the face of disappearing, we remain ourselves. We remain those people committed to justice. We remain those people committed to care. We remain those people committed to see the lives of our neighbors, all of our neighbors, each of our neighbors, and see them holy, see them beautiful, and recommit our hearts and our minds and our spirits and the work of our hands to building a world of justice for all, a world of health for all, a world of peace and safety and hope and love for all. We pray this filled with the possibility of love. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. May you be filled. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be whole. May all be filled. May all be filled with loving kindness. May all be well. May all be filled with loving kindness. May all be well. May all be peaceful and at ease. May all be whole. Rest in the love of this community and the love that holds us and binds us and inspires our day. We rest in quiet. May all beings know love. May all beings know peace. May all beings know an end to suffering. May it be so. Friends, will you join those beautiful, loving voices of yours as we sing Spirit of Life, Puente de Amor. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirring of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, come to me, come to me. Fuente de amor, ven hacia mí y al corazón. Cántale tu compasión, sopla al volar, sube en la mar, hasta moldear la justicia de la vida. Arráyame, libérame, fuente de amor, ven a mí, ven a mí. There are a lot of reasons that I'm really glad that I grew up when I did. I'm grateful to have started high school using a typewriter and graduating from university using a word processor. I'm grateful that the kids in my neighborhood could play roving games of kick the bottle and hide the seek well into the dusk of summer evenings. And I am grateful, it might seem strange, for the television shows that greeted my expanding mind. Sesame Street and the Electric Company and Mr. Dress Up, that's the Canadian one. And so importantly, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Now, Fred Rogers' model of nurturing and care and curiosity helped teach me how to be a person in the world, taught me that self-care was not a weakness, showed me a model of healthy, kind, gentle masculinity. One of the things that Mr. Rogers modeled in several of his shows and shared in an interview later in his life has stuck with me, and I think probably with many of you as well. He said, "When I was a boy and I would see scary things in the news, my mother would say to me, 'Look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping. Look for the helpers.' Because if you can see the helpers," he went on, "that's where you can find hope." Now, I'm going to be talking a little bit more about Mr. Rogers in a couple of weeks, but I wanted to share this thread of his presence in our lives because it came to me over and over again as I was getting ready to talk to you a little bit about the role of healers in Deepa Iyer's social change now. Remember that Iyer identified 10 roles that individuals and groups could play in nurturing and acting towards social change. Roles that we could play and also roles that are necessary if change is to be sustained, just, and inclusive. Healers in her scheme are those who are focused on repair and rebuilding for individuals and for community in the face of chaos and trauma. All people, but especially those faced with oppressive systems and unjust and traumatic experiences, all people can be embraced by individuals and communities who understand that healing must be a part of the work of change. That we need the capacity and skill to care for those who need calm, who need restoration, and who need opportunities to process their experience. And though this care and healing is important in the moment, it is also crucial for us, through our healers, to imagine and reimagine systems and societies with care built in and which are intentional about avoiding harm and being inclusive. We've talked before about the ways that you can look around during disaster and chaos and see people reaching out neighbor to help, regardless of what the government institutions are doing, to help each other, to feed each other, to clothe each other, to support each other when work can't be done. We've shared this and seen this in Minneapolis after many a disaster as well in other parts of our country. In their book, Let This Radicalize You, Kelly Hayes and Mariam Kaba write a chapter focusing on the place of care in protest and revolutionary movements and moments. They center this section of the book on what happened in Chicago during the pandemic lockdowns and during the protests after the murder of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. They highlight the ways that communities in Chicago intentionally created safe space for safety and healing in the midst of violence and fear. Communities of marginalized people, communities who the city itself and the federal government and state governments were not serving well, communities that reached out to help each other. This activity was not an addition or an extra, though. The authors write, "We believe in caring for each other as a form of cultural rebellion. We believe in the need to foster a counterculture of care, a politics larger than any siloed issue, one that can challenge dehumanization and the erasure of atrocity while allowing us to hold on to each other and our humanity amid disasters daily and acute. We believe in the need to foster a counterculture of care." We are called, all of us, to do this work in the face of our current reality. Called to work against the central cruelty of the institutions, laws, and practices of the current administration of this country. Especially as religious liberals, we are called to center care in the grounding of our actions and our organizations, and this runs directly counter to the Christian nationalist understanding of what our faith calls us to do. The Christian nationalism that is one of the groundings of the current administration's cruel worldview. Vice President J.D. Vance, newly converted to Catholicism, it seems, has chosen, for example, to argue with the Pope himself on several moral issues: war, immigration, and importantly for today, who our religious commitments call us to care for. I am standing in the pulpit today and I'm quoting both J.D. Vance and the Pope. It's a strange day. Quoting a medieval theory called Ordo Amoris in defense of his boss's xenophobic and cruel immigration policies and the destruction of almost all U.S. foreign aid, J.D. Vance said, "You love your family, and then you love your neighbor, and then you love your community, and then you love your fellow citizens in your own country, and then after that, you can focus and prioritize on the rest of the world." The Pope responded, "The true Ordo Amoris that must be promoted is that which we can discover by meditating constantly on the parable of the Good Samaritan. That is, by meditating on love that builds a fraternity," his words, "a fraternity open to all without exception. But worrying about personal, community, or national identity apart from these considerations easily introduces an ideological criterion that distorts social life and imposes the will of the strongest as the criterion of truth." Go Leo. Go Chicago. Go Chicago. This kind of care, the care the Pope was talking about, goes against everything our current leaders have pledged themselves and their way of governing to. The authors of Let This Radicalize You reflect on attitudes like Vance's. They say, the powers that be, are relying on our cynicism, our divisions, and our despair, in addition to their mass apparatus of repression, to prevent us from cultivating a new way of living in relation to each other. To defy and defeat them, we must cultivate hope, belonging, care, and action. In the face of this, our call is to build systems and organizations where care is woven into everything we do, every decision we make. It is a choice to build systems where no one is seen as disposable. I've been thinking a lot about my childhood and adolescence lately, especially as I prepare to travel to my hometown in Canada on Thursday to be with my family as we celebrate my mother's life and love. Like many families, I'm sure, a lot of conversation and guidance happened around our kitchen table at dinner each evening. My mom and dad made sure they asked about our day and talked to us about how things went and what kinds of decisions we'd made and how we treated the people around us. One evening when I was in high school, I was talking to my parents about a trip the concert band was planning to Florida. It was going to be a week-long trip by bus from Eastern Ontario by bus. Oh, 2 overnights on the bus. But anyway, that's beside the point. We were younger then. It was fine. With hotel stays along the way and in Florida and in 3 meals a day. It wasn't going to be cheap. And though we would do some fundraising, families were still going to have to hand over a good chunk of money for each student to go. My mother's response was interest about details first, and then she said, "And what about," and proceeded to name a couple of my friends in the band whose families lived paycheck to paycheck and definitely didn't have the money needed for the trip. She didn't ask how those families were going to afford it. She asked how the music program was going to make it possible for them to participate. How was the system set up to care for those who had need? Now, I'd been eating at this table with my mother for 17 years by this point, so I expected this question to come up, and I was ready. And I let her know about the scholarships that the music department had set aside and the extra fundraising opportunities that were available so that everybody could go on the trip, regardless of family finances. And then I returned to thinking about our community here, our Unitarian Universalist congregation. In her introduction to the book called The Call to Care, Essays by Unitarian Universalist Chaplains, Reverend Karen Hutt writes, "Conscious and deliberate acts of caring are a uniquely human attribute. In those times when we are baffled, suffering, scared, or engulfed in physical pain or moral dilemmas, we have traditionally sought care from religious institutions and spiritual understanding. To these, we bring the fullness of our spirits to be acknowledged and addressed, seeking love and authentic relationships. We bring our desire for forgiveness, mercy, and autonomy. We bring our claims of faith that provide meaning amid the insecurity of life. We bring our need for hope and for vision to satisfy the self-consciousness of our finitude. We want to be ethical and honest, humble and grateful in a world that is sometimes unjust and evil. We bring to religion and spiritual sources our broken, ill-formed questions and curiosities to be tended to, laid bare, and examined. We come to religious communities to be cared for, to care for others." I was reading Karen's words and thinking about our community and our care team. Our care team, which over the years and years, and especially over the past few months, has visited people in hospital, has sat with people in the hospital with their families, has brought food and care and visits of kindness to people's homes, has provided rides to people, has provided hope and possibility to folks, an ear to bend, a hand to hold, a prayer to pray together. And I am so deeply grateful for those in our community, all of you, who do this work, even if you're not part of our actual care team. But I do want to talk a little bit about our care team, remind you about our care team, this group of people who have gathered together, who have said, yes, we will take the lead on this. The care team who is there to reach out, the care team who is there to provide rides sometimes and food sometimes. We are there to provide. We are not, unfortunately, we're not hospice. We are not a home care organization, but we do everything we can do when times are tough for a while to help out. I hope that you know and remember that we are there. Care team, if you're a member of the care team, could you stick your hand up in the air and wave it around a little bit? We've got some folks. Oh, they're all on this side of the room. Okay. But they can't do it by themselves, and they never do it by themselves. I know every time I talk to the members of the care team, they're always amazed and grateful when they ask for help you all jump in and help. You bring food, provide rides, you make phone calls, you send cards. And so our care team is wanting to, we have in the past collected names of folks who we can reach out to and call when these things happen. They want to create a new set of lists. We want to a new start with a new set of lists. And so members of our care team will be at a table outside after the service with lists that you can sign up for. If you want to be available maybe to help someone drive somewhere once, or if you want to make phone calls to members to help check in on them, if you want to prepare meals or deliver meals when people are in need during illness or crisis, when you want to, if you want to make visits to folks. So we'd love for you to sign up on our list so that we know who to call first when we have a need. So please take a moment after the service, visit. I think Joni and Julia will be at the care team table, and please say hello to them, say thank you to them, and sign your name on as many of those lists as you can. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all you do. I think back to the words that Nikita Gill wrote that Bryna shared earlier. One day when you wake up, you will find that you have become a forest. You have grown roots and found strength in them. Forests are not just a good metaphor for the self, but for the community as well. One day when we wake up, we will find that we have become a forest. We have grown roots and found strength in them. Trees and flowers, insects and birds and animals, water and wind and soil, minerals and fungi and mosses and lichens, green leaves and composting, mulch, all thriving together, feeding and sheltering and enriching each other. Stories and a caring hand and a voice of kindness and food and rides and transportation and possibility, all thriving together, feeding and sheltering and enriching each other. Who could we be? What love could we continue to nurture? What possibilities for justice and health and deepening growth could we continue to weave if we knew ourselves to be deeply interdependent and reliant on each other? If we saw in each other, if we continued to see each other as both helpers and those who are worthy always of help. If we weave our communities and heart in the shape of care. Continue to imagine that world, my friend. Thank you. Now, normally we would dive into a song, but we're not going to do that just yet. We're going to take a moment. As I said, you've been watching the scroll, and I hope while Malcolm is playing the postlude at the end of the service, that you continue to watch that scroll. And I am betting that the scroll is longer than the postlude. So if the music stops and the scroll continues, I invite you to stick around and watch it till the end. You will be amazed at how many names are on that list and how many names are on that list so many times. But yes, Linda, as we're leaving. So it's going to continue to roll. Stay as long as you want. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, AV folks, for making that possible. Thank you to all the committee chairs for sending me names. Thank you, Sue, for helping me make sure the names are all correct and in the right order. But we're going to take a moment now to share a litany to thank our volunteers. So, Carl, could we have the first slide? I'm going to do the L bits, and you're going to do the C bit. Okay? Sound good? When there was a need, so hold in your hearts and your minds all those folks who were volunteers, and I bet you it's almost every one of you. When there was a need, you came forward. So we thank you. In the nighttime or daytime, on weekends, and even in the coldest, darkest part of the year, you helped. Elected and duly appointed, or quietly, anonymously, and unbidden, you did what needed doing. So we thank you. Sometimes with the help of many hands, other times alone, you worked. And so we thank you. You gave your time, your talent, and even your treasure for the life of this congregation. And so your families and loved ones supported you in your efforts, worried for you when things piled up, and perhaps grumbled at you for the extent of your commitment. Thank your families and loved ones for all things great and small that you have given this congregation and its members and friends. We take time today to recognize, to thank you, and to honor you. Can we have a big round of applause for all of our volunteers? Now we're going to sing. This is a song that Malcolm and I were wondering whether we've done it before. I don't think that we have. So it's a new song for you folks. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to invite you to stay seated for the first couple of verses, and then I'm going to give you a hand to get lifted. So here's what you should do. I'm going to sing the song. The words are on the screen. Join in as you see fit. Add some music, add some harmony, do what you need to do. You'll figure it out, I promise. I know you. So Malcolm, here we go. I am looking for shelter in a friend. We can build a beginning, but I do not know the end. I am scared of breaking when I bend. We will carry each other on the way. My courage is your courage when the journey is only getting longer. My strength is your strength. We will carry each other on the way. There are prayers I don't know how to say, but I still find solace when I close my eyes to pray. What I've lost and what I hope can stay. We will carry each other. We will carry each other on the way. My courage is your courage when the journey is only getting longer. My strength is your strength. We will carry each other on the way. I am all that I have never met. I am flooding river and I'm living through the drought. I have firm conviction and my heart is full of doubt. We will carry each other on the way. Please rise. My courage is your courage when the journey is only getting longer. My strength is your strength. We will carry each other on the way. There are people I have never met. There is something special and I haven't found it yet. There's abundance given freely, taken with no debt. We will carry each other on the way. My courage is your courage when the journey is only getting longer. My strength is your strength. We will carry each other on the way. My courage, one more time. My courage is your courage when the journey is only getting longer. My strength is your strength. We will carry each other on the way. Thank you.
Congregational news. Next Sunday is the second Sunday of the month, which means socks on the 2nd. I just took over the delivery of socks to Well in the Desert. Please don't make me go empty-handed. We need to support those on the street, so please bring. Leslie G. writes, to appreciate and thank our team of worship associates for keeping us informed in diverse ways and for keeping it together on Sundays. I just heard a titter there. Thank you. And yes, crafting is May 6th from 11 to 1 right here in our community room. Come laugh, cry, chat, or be silent while we stitch, paint, color, and make new friends. And also, this is from me. May 6th, Wednesday, is Leslie's birthday, and she'd love to know people are having fun. For everyone who had a part in today's service, thank you, whether here in the sanctuary or elsewhere in the building. My gratitude. To Malcolm, thank you for the gift of music. And to Reverend Ian, we appreciate you as much as you appreciate all of us, maybe more. Now, please join me, as we extinguish the chalice. The words are overhead. Our time together is finished, but our work is not done. May our spirits be renewed and our purpose resolved as we meet the challenges of the week to come. The chalice flame is extinguished until once again ignited by the strength of our communion. Go now in peace.
I finished our service today with the words of Robin Wall Kimmerer from Braiding Sweetgrass. When times are easy and there's plenty to go around, she writes, individual species can go it alone. But when conditions are harsh and life is tenuous, it takes a team sworn to reciprocity to keep life going forward. In a world of scarcity, interconnection, and mutual aid become critical for survival. So say the lichens. With the voice of the lichen and the forest, and those who weave care and justice and healing together in the face of adversity and fear, with their voices in our hearts, inspiring us, challenging us, inviting us. Go in peace, dear ones, to love and serve the world.